Both Manchester United and Arsenal made sure their cities were red last game week, but which one of those two is going to win this time around? This is Premier League Predictor, the series where you guys take on me to see who's got the best footballing knowledge. Here are my results from game week 20. I actually did okay. I managed to get half of the games correct. However, I didn't get any correct scores and only ended up with 5 points. Another good fact for you guys, all but 2 of the home teams won their games last weekend. Let's see if you guys did any better than me. Here are the game week 20 subscriber results. Ben hits the top of the table with 14 points. Annie coming in second with 10 points. Tinlong and Jacklius coming in third with 9 points. The rest of us are all down below, and Stuyben did not predict. Don't be like Stuyben, guys. Make sure you get in the comments of this video and get your predictions in for game week 21. And whilst you're down there doing me a massive favour, please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. It'd be very much appreciated because we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers this year. So you guys are the only people that can help me with that. Please get down there, subscribe to the channel. And whilst you're at it, why not like the video as well? It's the only way to make YouTube put this video in front of more eyes. So here's game week 21 and there's some big fixtures coming up. Arsenal versus Manchester United on Sunday is huge. Liverpool versus Chelsea kicking off the week as well. And Crystal Palace versus Newcastle, I think it's going to be a difficult one. Chelsea narrowly got past Crystal Palace in their last fixture. And Liverpool, well, they won't want me to talk about this, but I'm going to. Brighton won 3-0 there. Where do I see this one finishing? Chelsea just spending money like it's going out of fashion at the moment. And Liverpool are definitely in a bit of a crisis. People calling for Klopp to be sacked, which is frankly ridiculous. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Where do I see this game going? Well, I'm actually going with a draw. I've gone for 1-1. I think the points will be shared here, and it's probably going to be a very tight affair. Brighton saw off Liverpool 3-0 in their last fixture, and I'm going for it again. I think they're going to beat Leicester here. Brighton at the moment are probably one of the most exciting teams to watch in the Premier League currently. I'm going to go for 3-0 in this fixture as well. I just think that as a team at the moment, in the form they're in, they're not very beatable. Next up, you got Southampton against Aston Villa. Southampton actually did extremely well against Everton in what was essentially like a 9-pointer at the bottom of the table, and they managed to get the win there, putting them level on points with both Everton and West Ham. If they win, they actually jump up to like 13th or 12th in the league. I'm actually backing them. Aston Villa, I don't know how to judge Aston Villa this season. It depends on what week it is, which way the wind's blowing as to which team's going to turn up. I think Southampton might be starting to find their way, and hopefully for their fans we'll get a result here. I've gone for 1-0 to Southampton, meaning they'll be out of the relegation zone. Another team looking to leave the bottom 3 is West Ham. They're up against their fellow relegation places, Everton, and I'm going to go with what Ben would want me to say here. I'm going to say Everton are going to lose. Danny Ings has just joined West Ham as of recording this, and I'm not sure if he will be eligible for the game on the weekend, but if he is, then that's a great addition to their squad. Someone who's a born goal scorer and is likely going to drag them out of this battle for relegation. I've gone for 1-0 to West Ham. It'll be a tight game, but I just don't think Everton are going to be in the Premier League come what may. Nottingham Forest have had a good run of form recently, and they have bought themselves a new player in the last week, a young Brazilian lad, I think, who looks quite decent. They're going up against Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are going to have to get a result. They literally have to get a result this week because everyone below them, bar Everton, by my predictions so far, are going to pick up points. If Bournemouth don't want to find themselves in the bottom of the Premier League, they're going to have to really do something special here, and I think they will. I think this is going to be the weekend of the surprises, and what I've gone for is 2-2 between Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. It's not a drastic surprise, but it's Bournemouth getting a point up against a Forest side who really, based on their current run of form, should now be pushing up the table a little bit more. Crystal Palace have caused some issues recently, only narrowly losing to Chelsea and then getting a point out of Manchester United last night as of recording this. That was not a nice viewing experience for Man United fans, safe to say. I just can't believe they didn't finish more chances. But anyway, moving on to their next fixture for Crystal Palace up against Newcastle. I think they're going to give Newcastle a bit of trouble again. I really liked Crystal Palace. I really like the way that they break out of defence at pace with Zaha, etc. up top, really causing defence an issue. But for me, Newcastle have got more than what it takes to see off a team like Crystal Palace. Manchester United didn't have that killer instinct. They didn't have that ability to score goals. Newcastle, I think, will take their chances and also will defend better against Crystal Palace. I'm I'm looking at the prediction I've made here, and I'm thinking about going against it. However, I'm going to go with it regardless. I've gone for Crystal Palace to still score at home to Newcastle, but I've put them down to lose 2-1. As I said, Newcastle just got more killer instinct than Man United at the moment, in my opinion, and will probably find themselves leapfrogging Manchester United in the Premier League table this weekend. Now, I'm making this prediction before Manchester City versus Tottenham, so please be aware of that. Manchester City are coming up against Wolves. They will want to improve after that result against Manchester United. United, 1 week can beat the champions of England, the next week can draw with Crystal Palace. Like, it makes no sense, but that's Manchester United for you. We'll talk more about them in a minute. Manchester City, I think, will win against Wolves. I think this will be a very straightforward fixture. I've gone for 2-0. Not really much to say about it. It'll just be another day at the office. Brentford have only dropped 2 points in their last 5 games and are the informed team in the Premier League right now, performing brilliantly well. Ivan Toney has returned to the squad following injury and has already scored via the penalty in the last fixture, and I think that is a massive addition to Brentford. The people that filled in for Toney did extremely well, but Toney is, he's their talisman player. He's their best player by a country mile, and I think he's going to show that in this fixture because I have put Brentford to win away at Leeds 4-1. It's a pretty big scoreline, the biggest scoreline that I've predicted in this game week. And yeah, I don't know. Brentford are leagues above Leeds at the moment, and Leeds' current run of form, they haven't won in 5 games, so it's only going to go one way for me. Arsenal and Manchester United have had very similar forms to Brentford. They've only drawn 1 game out of the last 5, winning the other 4 games. They come against each other in a massive top of the table clash. If Man United had won against Crystal Palace, they'd have 2 more points now. They'd be on 41. They'd be 6 points behind Arsenal. They win that game, they're then 3 points behind Arsenal. The pressure would really be on. However, United didn't look good up against Crystal Palace. Casemiro got a yellow card, which means he's now got a match ban and will not be able to face Arsenal. And Casemiro is what makes Manchester United tick. Erik ten Hag is going to have to work wonders with Fred and Scott McTominay if he really thinks he's going to get a result against Arsenal. Arteta has got a squad that are really playing well at the moment, and even with Gabriel Jesus being out, Nketiah has come in and filled in those shoes really nicely. Goals are still flowing over at Arsenal. Where do I see this one going? I've gone for an Arsenal win. I predict a lot of Manchester United failures at the moment, and I'm not scoring any points for them. I predicted Man City to win, didn't score any points. I'm predicting them to lose here against Arsenal, and I'm hoping I score no points again, but realistically, Arsenal are just a better side than United. I've gone for 2-1 to Arsenal, and I don't really see United having enough to get over the line without Casemiro in the squad. Tottenham and Fulham are 5th and 6th in the Premier League table respectively. Fulham are having an insane season. When they started the season so strong, we always thought, you know what, they'll go down the leagues eventually. It's not going to stay like this for the whole season, but they're hanging in there. We are now over halfway through the Premier League season, and they are still there. They are still very much holding on to the top 6 position, and they're playing particularly well. What will happen in this game versus Spurs? Well, someone predicting this years gone by would just go, Spurs win, move on to the next one. It's just not that way anymore. There's a high chance that Fulham get something out of this game. Fulham winning this would put them above Spurs in the Premier League, which would be incredible. I don't think they do win this. I think it's going to be a draw. I've gone for 2-2, a score draw, and it would be a very entertaining game, and I think the likelihood is Spurs will be scrambling to get a goal late on to make sure they get a point. So here's a roundup of my Game Week 21 predictions on the Matt Ayres FC Premier League Predictor. We've got Liverpool and Chelsea to draw 1-1. We've got Brighton to win 3-0 away at Leicester, Southampton to win 1-0 against Aston Villa, West Ham United to win 1-0 against Everton, Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest to draw 2-2, Crystal Palace to lose 2-1 to Newcastle United, Manchester City to win 2-0 against Wolves, Brentford to win 4-1 away at Leeds, Arsenal to win 2-1 at home to Manchester United, and Fulham and Tottenham to share the points with a 2-2 draw. Remember guys, if you want to get involved with your predictions, get them in the comments down below. Seeing more and more people predicting recently, which is really brilliant. Remember to get your predictions in before that Liverpool-Chelsea game kicks off. That's it for my predictions this week guys. If you enjoyed, please hit a like on the video. Remember, we're going for 1,000 subscribers, so hit the sub button as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Quite often, I'll leave like a post-credit scene on these videos, and barely any of you see them. So if you see it, at the bottom of your predictions, put the word cheese. That's it, cheese, and I'll know that you've watched the whole video.